What was Sidious's reaction when he discovered that his first apprentice, Maul, was alive? What was the Sith Lord thinking? And how did it cause him to almost lose it? In Season 4 of the Clone Wars, Darth Maul returned from the dead to begin his reign of terror over the galaxy, amidst the already prominent issues of the war with the Separatists. After killing several Jedi, many innocent people, and taking over a crime syndicate, as well as building up a glorious crime empire and completely usurping the throne of Mandalore, Maul was paid a personal visit by his master. Darth Sidious decided to make a personal rare appearance in public. It must be understood that every time that Palpatine steps out as Darth Sidious, he is risking that his true identity as a Dark Lord will be revealed to the galaxy. For Sidious to personally intervene in everything during this era was a big deal. Sidious knew that no one could take care of this issue but him. But before he does, he expresses to his former apprentice his genuine surprise and compliments his former student on surviving his injuries. For a very long time in the lore, we weren't sure exactly how Sidious found out about Maul's survival, with the most popular theory just being that since he had eyes everywhere, that a new Sith arising to prominence and taking over the criminal underworld would not escape his view. However, in a 2012 comic, Clone Wars Sith Hunters, we find out exactly how Palpatine discovered Maul's survival and how he reacted to the news of his old apprentice surviving. So take a walk with us as we open up yet another holocron. This story is set directly after the Clone Wars episode Revenge, the 4th season's finale. As Obi-Wan Kenobi and a team of Jedi attempt to hunt down Maul, news reaches back to the Jedi Council of all that has transpired and the return of the Sith. Anakin is called to come help with the search and arrest of Maul, and so he goes to visit the Chancellor before he sets off on his new mission. None the wiser of what has happened yet, Palpatine cordially invites Anakin to watch a parade with him, when Anakin has to regretfully turn him down. Anakin proceeds to tell Palpatine that he has been called away to help a Jedi task force catch a Sith Lord. Palpatine immediately thinks that Anakin is referring to Dooku, as that of course would be the obvious answer. Palpatine tells Anakin that by all means, he shouldn't feel bad about missing the parade if he has to go capture Dooku and end the war. But then Anakin delivers the devastating news, and Palpatine, in a rare moment, is caught off guard. Someone has information before he does. He's immediately interested, but a part of him, even perhaps worried. Anakin says, "It's not Dooku. It's the Sith Lord who tried to assassinate Padme years ago, Darth Maul." Palpatine is stunned, so stunned in fact that his eyes widen and he completely spaces out, lost in thought. For several seconds, he just stares off into the distance, unresponsive until Anakin says, "Chancellor," in order to get his attention. Sidious takes a moment to compose himself, reverting back to his Palpatine persona, lowering the mask of the Chancellor upon the furious face of the Dark Lord. Then he calmly turns. "This news is quite disturbing. Are you quite certain? I thought this Darth Maul was killed on Naboo by Master Kenobi." Of course, Palpatine puts emphasis on the word disturbing, just very subtly revealing his true feelings on the matter. Anakin confirms that there was no doubt that it was Darth Maul, and that he had already killed 3 Jedi. Palpatine proceeds to say that he understands the Jedi's concern, but wonders if it is a good allocation of resources for the Jedi to focus so hard on hunting down a single assassin, one who should already be dead. In this scene, Sidious is using every bit of his self-control to keep his guise as the Chancellor intact, but the cracks are beginning to show. He is disturbed and concerned that Maul has survived. The conversation continues as Anakin explains that Maul likely used his dark training and powers in the Force to keep himself alive, surviving his grave injuries before finding repair somewhere in the wide galaxy. Palpatine decides to cast doubt and uncertainty within Skywalker's mind on the situation, wondering if any of this is true, or if the Council is just paranoid about the Sith's resurgence. He even questions whether or not Dooku is a true Sith Lord. He goes on to say that this information could cause undue panic. However, Anakin stands his ground and insists that Dooku is in fact a Dark Lord, that he had sensed the dark side within him, and that the Sith truly have returned. I believe that perhaps Palpatine is attempting to dissuade the Jedi from pursuing Maul, as he is quickly becoming the most dangerous person in the galaxy to Sidious. He is a loose end. He holds the real identity of the Dark Lord. Or perhaps Palpatine just wants to take care of his old apprentice personally. Either way, we see Sidious fighting very hard against the idea of the Jedi interacting with Maul at all. But it's here that Sidious decides to switch focuses for the moment onto Maul himself, and ask Skywalker his feelings on the Sith's return, questioning him on what he believes Darth Maul actually wants. Anakin, of course, says that it's his goal to likely get revenge on his master, Kenobi, and then after that, he'll seek out the rest of the Sith. Perhaps he will seek fame, fortune, and power, anything and everything that he can get his hands on. Overindulge. The Sith crave power above all. Anakin's response visibly amuses Palpatine, as he responds, "Perhaps I should study the Sith to better understand the threat that you're facing. All I ask, my friend, is that you be careful. May the Force be with you." This brief conversation tells us a lot, and just how impactful Maul's return is for the Dark Lord, who's very openly concerned. So much, in fact, that something happens with Sidious that nearly never does. He was so shocked by the information that he briefly slipped his mask as Palpatine by spacing out. In the Darth Plagueis novelization, Sidious learns from Master Dooku about Anakin possibly being the Chosen One, as well as Anakin's age. Even in that situation, when Sidious was internally panicking and realizing that he and his master had possibly created their own doom after conducting a ritual that resulted in the birth of the Chosen One, even then, Palpatine managed to largely keep himself composed. The mask of Palpatine held firm. He calmly inquired of Dooku more information on the subject, but here, Sidious is not only shocked, but you can tell that he is infuriated. If Maul had survived and lived this long, only now making an appearance publicly against the Jedi, this means he had not contacted his master in all of this time. This is telling of all. Maul never intended to contact Palpatine, never intended to return to his master's side. Perhaps now, Maul believed he was meant for something more, the betrayal stinging too deep. Sidious knew that Maul was now a rogue Sith, was deciding to become a rival publicly. This was likely how the Dark Lord knew that Maul was lying on Mandalore when he tried to tell Sidious and begged him, proclaiming that he had built all of Mandalore up in hopes of returning to his master's side. Sidious knew what he had to do in that moment. He'd never believed Maul whatsoever, and he could not possibly let the fallen apprentice roam free, not while there were already two, and he certainly could not allow the Jedi to get their hands on him. Think of it, my friends, for a moment, Darth Maul was the most dangerous man in the galaxy to Palpatine. Simply put, Sidious would make an appearance to handle this matter personally. He had to. The thought of Maul's return genuinely petrified him. He was not petrified in the face of Windu, not in the presence of Grandmaster Yoda, but the thought of Maul's return shook him to his core. But anyway, my friends, what do you think about this interaction between Anakin and Palpatine, and the revelation to the Dark Lord that his fallen apprentice had survived? Did you expect him to be as surprised as he was? Let us know your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Thank you as always so much for watching and supporting the channel, my friends, and may the Force be with you.